Another Italy elimination in Germany. Feels like it's the story of the past 12 months. Here on the Calcio guys, Adreano, Gianni, I'm Nicholas. It's got to be the three of us when it's the only team that we actually all support together, besides like Canada soccer, Canada hockey, but whatever. Guys, how's it going?
But it's going. I mean, thank God we're recording here Wednesday night instead of Monday, because I think Monday would have been a more of a rage fest. But happy to be back, not on these terms, but always a pleasure, guys.
I'm okay. I'm doing okay. Surviving. That's what matters.
Busy.
Yeah.
Gianni, was it this weekend you're traveling, so you didn't get to, or you didn't
I've been traveling every weekend.
Yeah.
Not this weekend, no, but I'm gonna be traveling next weekend and this upcoming weekend and the weekend after. So unfortunately, I've just been running around a lot. But what's up?
No, I was gonna say, did you have the misfortune of watching Italy's games?
No, I was lucky to avoid them.
Yeah.
I was following along through Twitter because I was probably on the road or doing something or tutoring or whatever it was. So I didn't have a chance to watch the games, but I've seen there was a lot of frustration, a lot of negative comments and stuff. So,
yeah. I don't know where do you want to start, because it started off well. Thursday, look, guys, we recorded on Wednesday night, so since we last spoke, Italy played twice. I don't think we need to talk about each game individually, but more games as a whole. And I think I want to talk more about Sunday's game, because that's where there's so many problems, right? But look, it started off well. Tonali in the 9th minute scores, and he scores in his former home stadium. Everyone's saying this is the guy that Italy missed during the Euros. It looks good. Level play, it was okay. They didn't have too many chances. I think there was one chance that Ken missed after that. But then Germany just kind of took over in the second half. Goals by, sorry if I can't pronounce the name, Kleinstein. I don't know how to pronounce the name. 49th minute, start second half. And then Goretzka in the 76th. So 2-1, you know what? If you would have told us 2-1 before that game, I think we would have been okay. Because look, we were talking about it on Wednesday, and I forget who said like there'd be one draw and one loss, or one draw and one win for Italy. I think it was you, Gianni, no?
I said it's like a 2-1 and then hoping for a miracle in the second game. And I called the first game.
Yep.
And we almost got a miracle in the second game, but so you Nostradamus over here. You almost called it.
Add it again.
I don't know if you guys had any specific thoughts on the first game alone.
I mean, listen, for the first game, I think, like you said, Nick, started off well, I guess you can, if you want to say well. With the starting lineup, we weren't really sure what to get, especially with Politano at the right wing back position. But he's the one who kind of got the indirect assist, I guess, on that play. He's the one that kind of poked it through, and it found terrible clearance by, I think, Jonathan Tah, if I'm not mistaken, for Germany, and it finds Tonali's foot, and he's able to put it past Baumann, the keeper. What a moment! What a start! We even kind of called it for that as well on Wednesday's last week's show on Wednesday. Kind of we were saying like, okay, who has to be maybe the people or the players to kind of step up and really take charge. And I know we mentioned Bastoni, we mentioned Keane, and I threw in Tonali as well, and he managed to get the crucial goal at the beginning. And then you know what, guys, I don't know. Italy switched off, for two halves in these two legs, and it costed them big time. Obviously, this is not, the be all end all in terms of tournaments, but it's still a disappointing way to go. It's a frustrating way to go. It's not, unacceptable way to go as well. Kind of shutting off in that second half, which I don't understand why. Nothing was kind of really going right. Credit to Nagelsmann making the sub, and the striker there, Kleindienst, whatever his name is there, scored pretty much right after the halftime, after the sub. So obviously it was an impact sub for them, and then finishing off the game once again off of a corner and another header in the back of the net. And I don't know. I feel like we keep on getting burned by these headers, these set pieces, these actions in the box. We always seems to get burned somehow, even though I put faith in the people that we have in our defense. It's a shame because Donnarumma keeps us in these games, and we just let him out to dry. In two back-to-back games, and many times even in the past really. So disappointing in the first. Gianni, I don't know if you had anything else to add to the first, but I know it's going to bleed into our second the second match, but just I don't think the right mentality in the second half and us switching off. Already we're cursed at the San Siro. We managed to escape there with a 2-1 result. Okay, you know what? There's a second leg. We have a chance to maybe make it up. In Dortmund. Have some success there in the past. Kind of want to maybe latch onto that, even though it's not always the best mentality to have. But we can go back to Germany and try to get a result. And if you listen to what Spalletti has to say after the first match, he's saying the distance between the Italy Germany is not too far. We're right there, and obviously the first half of the second game proved otherwise. But yeah, guys, I don't know, just switched off, lack of focus, nothing going offensively, making late subs. It was just, I don't know if you guys took anything away from us from the games, from the first game at least.
I mean, as you like to say, it's a tale of two halves. That's the famous.
It is. Yeah.
Famous Adrian line. This game was a perfect definition, but I think both games essentially were just a perfect definition of a tale of two halves. It didn't seem like there was a full 100% effort. Like it just seemed like things just didn't go right the first time, or it took Spalletti a while to figure out the second time. I feel like as if he wanted to experiment something with using players like Maldini in the second game, even in the first game, just wanted to give him a shot. Like you can't discredit the guy for trying out different things. People got mad at Mancini for constantly using the same people all the time, and not looking towards others. And now they're kind of roasting Spalletti for like actually trying out different talents. But yes, obviously it remains to be said that players like Orsolini not getting a call up obviously is a very big mistake, very big error on his part. And there's some talents that do deserve to not be there and have them replaced. Like I'm not one of the sense of like a whole like Politano thing. Like I'm not, but like the Raspadori getting criticized pissed me off because Raspadori isn't a problem for the team. He's a solid like secondary striker, like sub striker, whatever you want to use him for. Like I don't think he's one of the issues, like with the Spalletti nepotism. But I think for him, it was just he's still trying to get things to work out. And I think having players like Di Marco not there, who's the best, I think right now he is the best Italian player that's available, not be on that roster makes a big difference. I think his presence was deeply missed in like the middle of the field, like offensive half, so to speak. Like a player like Di Marco could have probably like changed things, So I think it's that. I think a lot of people really crapped on Di Lorenzo so much, but Di Lorenzo, like I've said many times, is not used to a 3-man backline. He's not a defender for a 3-man backline. So Spalletti needs to either use him wider or just use a 4-man backline if you're going to use a player like Di Lorenzo. But then once again, like I said, that's the Napoli nepotism that's coming into play for that. So I think the one thing that we really need to focus on is some big names not being there. Retegui not being there also up front. I just remembered about him, having one of the hottest Serie A strikers right now on the roster. I think it's just more players missing and some players not being selected are reflective of this result. But I mean, we'll talk about it more after the second game, but it kind of played into our favor not beating Germany given the group that we got for the World Cup qualifying. But that's a bridge that we'll cross when we get there. But yeah, those are my 2 cents about the game.
What
I think
you talk about tale two halves. We didn't see the best, but like right now, like what's the best for Italy? We haven't seen a good Italy team, a good 90-minute game since when the Albania game in the Euros, and that game was good for 89 minutes and 30 seconds. Yeah, they played. I know they beat Belgium 1-0 in the Nations League last time out. There was a game versus France in September. So there's these sporadic games, but we haven't seen a lot of consistency. It's 3 games in a row now that Italy hasn't won. Look, they lost to France 3-1 in November, which is the reason why they even had to play Germany in this instead of winning the group, and then obviously lose to Germany, tie Germany. And it's not a good period right now for the Azzurri, right? And it's hard because Gianni say a lot of names were there. Obviously, Retegui is the main one. How much would he have changed the outcome?
It can't be an excuse. It can't be an excuse because Germany didn't have all their top players as well. So it can't be an excuse. I don't want to hear that. We were missing players. That's fine. I agree. But currently in Serie A, we have 2 of the hottest strikers, Retegui and Keane. Keane obviously did well in the second game. We saw what he was able to do in that second half. That the only guy one of the only players that seemed to have some hustle, and he's a true pro in finding the back of the net on his chances in that second half of the second game there. But yes, Di Marco hurts. Yes, Retegui hurts. I think even Cambiaso, even though I was never the biggest fan of his, but for the Azzurri, and I got to see him live, like I said, back in October. Him and Di Marco on the flanks do damage. Is he having the best season at Juve? No. Is Juve having the best season as a whole? No. But just to say, I think some of these players that are missing, okay, we can account for that. I understand it hurts the lineup, but I still think we have quality, elsewhere in the roster. Does it show on the pitch for 90 minutes? Every game, it seems to be no. I don't know if that's a mentality thing, if that's a tactics thing. We can debate that for hours. Because, guys, I don't know. Like, for me, you want to say we haven't seen this, we haven't seen that. But for the most part, I do see quality on this team. It's putting all the pieces together to really make something happen is another thing. Doesn't help them when we go lose a guy like Calafiori on just a spadach and a half, and obviously fucks up his knee. But it's, I don't know if it's unlucky or what do you want to call it, but it can't be that Italy is struggling against not a top Germany team. They're great players. They have a great squad. Don't get me wrong, but they're not at their best either. And we have to suffer, and we have to do it the hard way. And we always have to come back, and we have to go down, 3-0 to wake up. Why do we have to wake up after 3 goals scored on the second goal in the second game? That is a fucking joke, guys. Like that should never happen. Not even on Sunday League, Total Campo, whatever you want to call it. You've 10. That doesn't happen. The coaches are smarter than that, right? The players are smarter than that. You cannot let that second goal happen. I think the second game brings more rage, at least out of me, just because of the stupidities that happened throughout that game. But if we're sticking on the first game before we bleed into the second match, I don't know. I think we got burned on 2 set pieces. Right, or the cross into the box by Kimmich, I think was a free kick if I'm not mistaken, or if it was in open play, I don't remember. But he swings it into the box, a good cross. He gets between our 2 defenders. The corner again. Goretzka in the midst of everybody finds a header, finds a head on it, and angles it into the net.
Even that, at first it looked like the Olympico goal too. That one.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he actually got his head on it.
Me neither. I never end up seeing like another replay clearly, but I never even saw that he got a head onto it. And it's like, there we go. We're down 2-1 and we don't have a fight back. Keane, I found was a bit on an island. He didn't really have much support. Maybe it's a formation thing. Again, like Gianni said, like we haven't been able to maybe field our best 11, maybe find our best 11. maybe find our perfect formation. Like Spalletti's been experimenting, and I do agree. Has he been kind of rigid on the formation? Yes. He seems to think that what we have at our disposal works with that formation. That could be true as well. I'm not going to say no because it has, but when we're struggling and then we have our striker kind of on an island, not getting service, we're losing 50-50 balls, we're playing behind the 8 ball, we're never going to come back in matches like that. So I don't know what it is, if they need to put 2 strikers up there, or he takes out Keane and brings in Luca at the end of the game, where what are you going to expect? A miracle out of Lorenzo Luca just in the 80th minute, whatever time he got subbed in? It's they need to have that fire early. I thought they were going to after the Tonali goal. I thought it was going to be more of a okay, wow, we actually got onto their front foot. We kind of said it last week. If they kind of start early with a goal, it could be in their favor. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be, and they screwed themselves in the second game as well.
You talk about formation and player selection, all that, and it's hard because this is a national team at the end of the day. You can't make transfers. You got to deal with what you have, and that's what Conte was so good at. I know we're going back like 10 years now, right?
Already, yeah.
But I'm just saying that's the mentality you need to have as a coach. Take what you have and get the most of it. You're given 11 pieces of wood, make a nice coffee table or something,
So are you saying that Spalletti's not capable of doing that, or he hasn't been able to show that yet?
No, he hasn't been able to show that yet. I think he is capable of doing it. I think he is a smart coach. Look,
okay,
he took a Napoli team that, on paper wasn't the best that season. Yes, you could say, yeah, Kvara, nobody expected Kvara to be as good as he was that season. But he took a Napoli team to the Scudetto. He had the players. I know it's different. He was able to get transfers and that. But he had the players, and the sum of the parts. What was it? The sum of the parts is greater than the whole. What's the expression, Gianni? You're the professor here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Hold on, the sum of the parts.
No, the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. Something like that. Whatever. You guys know
what I mean. The sum of the parts
is
greater than the whole.
Okay.
The philosophy, guys.
There you go.
No, sorry, the whole is grerer than the sum of its parts.
That makes sense. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
System identity, when considered as a whole, is more effective, valuable, or complex.
Exactly. So I think that's the mentality that the Azzurri need right now. There's no superstar. But
it's always been that way, though. It's never really been
Gianni,
team. It's never been a team of we had great players.
We had superstars.
25 years ago, that was the case. Then it stopped.
Yeah. I would say within the last, like you said, 20 years.
But even when we won in 06, it's like those guys were sure, we consider them legends and stuff, and phenomenal players, but they still played as if they were like a unit. Like it wasn't like as if it was a superstar. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Johnny, look behind you. Look behind you.
Yeah. Yes.
Look at your back.
I'm calling them legends. Listen, but I'm trying to say, you guys are not listening. What I'm trying to say is that even though these guys are individually superstars, they weren't like, the way they played wasn't in a sense of like individualistic identity or like reliance on like one player to carry the team. It was a whole like unit that did it. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, but you can't say we didn't have superstars.
No, but like, I mean, like saying it was always like that, where they always played as like,
we didn't have a Ronaldo or a Messi, if that's what you're.
Is what I'm trying. Essentially, we had a bad Joe. We had a bad Joe who never really got used as much. Whenever he did get used, he carried a team, but there was always a controversy behind that. The guy couldn't stay healthy, and people shit on him for no fucking reason.
Exactly,
so that's about it.
Or a Paolo Rossi in in '82, like we had.
But even Paolo Rossi in '82 was just a miracle in a sense of like the guy wasn't selected for the '80 team, and he was suspended and stuff, and like it was just like, okay, well, we're gonna. So the FIGC was like, okay, might as well, right? Like,
yeah,
like he just came back. Let's see what happens, and next thing you know, he ends up being the hero for '82. But even at that, like that entire run, like Paolo Rossi had a phenomenal year. But if you look at the final, there was 3 different scorers that scored those 3 goals against Germany. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
fair. But
although
I think,
Rossi had the hat trick.
wasn't he top goal scorer of the?
Yeah, because he had the hat trick versus Brazil, if I recall
Yeah.
correctly. I'm going based off like pure memory right now. So if the listeners are
Yeah.
listening, apologies if I'm making some historical
Before our time,
errors here.
guys. It's before our time.
Yeah.
You know what? You think about it.
I was born 10 years later.
Yeah, we have pretty good knowledge of that game, even though we weren't around to see it.
Yeah.
But
82.
but like that final, I believe, was 3 different scorers. I'm saying the 06
Tardelli,
run, like
Rossi.
06 run, it was everybody contributed. Even though there are superstars and legends, yes, everybody contributed. Our Euro 2021 was just like we had no legit super. It was a group thing. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm saying. Like we didn't have a superstar, meaning that we didn't have like Messi, like a one player really like the only time you will ever see that is 94. Bad Joe was in 90. Like Italy should have not gone past Nigeria. They should have been eliminated by Nigeria. Yet somehow Bad Joe took the team on his back, carried them all the way to the final, and they lost in penalties to Brazil. And it's one of the greatest Brazil teams that it was the start of like the brand new golden generation of Brazil. So that's what I'm saying. Like that's probably the last time I've ever seen in my life where there's literally one player that had carried a team to a finals. Because even 2012 with Balotelli had a phenomenal run that year, but the team was still great overall. The mid was phenomenal that year. You know, like a lot of people really like it was just beautiful. Pirlo was carrying. Pirlo was putting everybody in his pocket, for example. You know, oh my God, Montolivo looked generational talent in that run. You know, like and then what happened to him after that? You know, like
down the gutter.
Yeah, you still had the Juve backline with Buffon and Nets. Like it was still like it was still a good team. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just that's why you can't really. That's why I'm not going to count Balotelli's run as like the last time we had a superstar carry us to a final. Like literally, it was only Bad Joe in '94, and after that, it's like it was always been. So that's what I mean when I say like we never really had an individualistic superstar that really, you know, makes Italy the Azzurri like great. It's always been a unit. They succeed as a team, and when they succeed, and they fail horribly as a team. Yeah. It's always been like that. It's rare. Like we're lucky though. We're lucky because look like a nation like Romania, right? You know, like they had Hagi, and then that's it. They never had any more generational talent like that. You know, you look at it like Croatia. Like I was talking about it with one of my friends today. Shout out to Brendan. He's half Croatian, half Italian. Like Croatia finally had a golden generation, but now it's starting to fade out, and it's like, who do you have that's really like out of this new golden generation now that's remaining? You know, like it's like nobody's gonna be able to carry that team. They had a great team, but like you know what I mean. Like they have. It's like a lot of these times it's just like one and dones. It's rare that you'll have a country. We're very lucky to be Italian, to have Italy still constantly produce players that are good enough to make the team competitive. And then every once in a while, we just get a wave of like these players that are just like locked in, or they just get this miracle run and they win because they have the capabilities of doing so. But it's always a team. It's always a team effort.
Maybe you were going to say
maybe at that point it even comes down to players' mentality because, you know, I don't want to overuse this word, but grinta, right, guys? Like how much do we see? How much have we seen that these days?
They show none.
You know, I don't know if it's the fact that these guys are all coming from different clubs and leagues in different parts of the world, and modern football, they're all worried more about their toe injury than their club. And, you know, look, I don't want to comment on Retegui. I don't know what his injury is, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's playing this weekend for Atalanta. You know, and look, I understand that side too, because these clubs want to protect their assets and they don't want to send these players off to these national games. So it's also tough because it is the Nations League and it's in the middle of the season, right? Mm-hmm. This is different than the Euros. It's different than the World Cup. Regardless.
But they didn't show up in the Euros anyways.
No, they didn't show up in the... They showed up one game versus Albania and the last 10 minutes versus Croatia.
Exactly.
Yeah. But where they didn't show up was that corner kick against Germany. And when I saw that, I said, you know what, this is over. I thought, when I first saw it, I thought it, you know, the referee didn't blow his whistle or he got called back or something, but no, legitimate play. And it's embarrassing. I mean, Adrian, you talked about it, total Campo play. And after that, like I couldn't watch the whole game. I had to go at hockey at 6. So I watched the first half. By the time I left, the first half was starting. And so
the second half.
second half was starting. And once that goal happened, when you're just, watching something on the side, not paying attention, that was me. I was surprised that, I was going to hockey. I got, before hockey in the dressing room, I kept seeing the updates of the goals. I was a bit surprised,
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, they were coming back. I was like, what the heck's happening?
Yeah.
So that's good in that regard. But to think they lost pretty much because of that, right? You don't allow that goal. You don't, it would be tied, right? At least it would go to extra time.
Yeah.
So that's frustrating.
But I'd rather that happen in a Nations League game than like at a major competition.
Yeah.
Because it's a lesson learned for the team. That's the way I see it.
Hopefully.
It's something that, like, you know what, you're gonna get burnt on it once. It's never gonna happen again. But you need to touch the hot stove to feel the pain of it, and then you learn your lesson. That's the way.
Spoetti said it too, right? He's like, I guess it's better that we did concede that goal that way, because now we'll be able to learn from it. But in my head, I'm like, if it takes you to do a bonehead mistake like that to learn, wake up, man. But you're right, Johnny. I do agree with what you're saying. Like, there's a point to be made there.
Like,
as
bonehead
professionals
mistakes,
too.
Bonehead mistakes can happen to anybody at any time.
Of course.
It's. I do agree that it is embarrassing. I will 110% agree that it is embarrassing, because it makes it look like as if like your team's in a disarray in the back. But then it's like now like Donnarumma, for example, now he's going to keep a second eye out just in case, in case something's happening. If he needs to reorganize the team, no one's going to, like, like not pay attention. They're gonna keep an eye out. Like, it's the way you just need it to happen once, and then you're not gonna make that same mistake twice. If you make that same mistake twice, then questions need to be asked.
Shame on you after.
Yes.
Yeah, was it fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, shame on you?
And I thought it was like the office. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me 3 times.
Yeah.
Twice, like 3. I'm kidding. No.
I can't get no quote. I can't get any quotes to correct tonight.
No, but it's fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Shame on me. Yeah. But it's the truth, and you know what it is. I think if I remember correctly, there was something that happened like just before that. Like, I don't know if there was a collision with Donnarumma before, and when it went out for the corner. And the problem is Donnarumma's the captain, so like he's like the one that tries to go speak to the ref. He tries to like make a bit of a scene, but again, I think you have to have a bit more of a level head. Again, it is a mistake. It does happen. They are human at the end of the day. Which is fine, but just totally embarrassing.
That might be a mistake in itself, making your keeper the captain.
Yeah,
it's tough, right? Because he's if you want to say the one player that is, it's hard. The keeper can't really. I mean, they can only carry you so far, but I think like he's obviously at an upper level of quality, but he's between the pipes. So his job is to keep us in games, make those crucial saves, those timely saves, and he has, right. Even on the PK, which again, I'm sorry, I like Buongiorno, but Buongiorno, but bonehead mistake there too, right? Like he commits that foul in the box. I think he has to be a bit more self-aware with that. Obviously, maybe he was getting bullied by that Kleindeich guy. I don't know, but it's just a foul you cannot take in the box like that. We're already in a negative period after that first game, and start off the second game with a kind of early PK. It doesn't help, and Donnarumma almost gets there too, right? Like he's the king of PKs. He almost gets there, goes the right way and everything. So it was just a tough way to go down. When it became 2-0, it was embarrassing in itself. The 3-0, before halftime, was almost absurd. I even forgot what the third goal was. Now, what was the third? The third goal was who? Was Musiala? No, Musiala scored the second. It was Kleindeich again, right?
Klein, yeah. I forget if it was off a corner or just across. It was back post. That's one where they
he dunked on Di Lorenzo. Yes, that is correct. But again, like. And then I see today, obviously with us getting the World Cup qualifying groups set now after that loss to Germany. We're in the group of, the Norways, the Estonias, the Israels, Moldovas of the world, right? I think it is. So, and already I see today, should we bring back a Cherby to be able to mark Haaland because he did it for Inter in the Champions League? But guys, how many times do we have to go backwards to be able? Like, is it possible that we have to go backwards every time to be able to go forward? It makes no sense to me that we have to depend on Acerbi, who again, good player, did his time. He's getting up there in age. I thought we were past the time, the point of bringing back. We might as well bring back Chiellini at this point. He brings the same grinta. He can still suit up. It's crazy, right? So, I do like our defense. I don't know if you guys agree, disagree. It's Bastoni is capable enough. I'm sorry, like he shouldn't be getting beat the way he was getting beat, and all our defenders were getting beat way too easily. That's on them to come out to come together as a core. If it be three, if it be four in the back, whoever's suiting up should be capable. Especially our three true center backs in Bastoni, Calafiori when he's healthy, and Buongiorno. I know Di Lorenzo gets slotted in to that center back position. Him too, he should be capable enough because I think he is. I don't mind him as a player. I know he gets a lot of shit, not only for the Azzurri but especially for Napoli as well. Which again, he declined a bit? Yes. Is he still capable? I do think so. But it's why do we have to go back to Acerbi just for a game that he's probably not going to be there? We're gonna. People are making it seem as like, okay, we're gonna call up a guy like Acerbi to cover a guy like Haaland in the Norway matches, for him not even to probably be called up in 2026 for the World Cup. We're going to get there with players that we are probably not going to bring up come the actual tournament. I think personally, guys, for me, that's yes, okay, if he's on form and everybody's going to say, oh, he deserves to be there, but I don't know. We have to move forward. It's enough of going back into the past, I think.
I'm in agreement with you. I don't think players should just be called up just by what they've done before. They have to earn their spots. That's why I made the comment about Politano before. Like, I don't think Politano deserves to either. I think Raspadori does, though. I think Raspadori, like,
Raspadori's on the fence, and for me, Politano.
But I'm not saying
I agree with you, but you know what? He kind of shocked me and surprised me. At least in the first match, and when he came on in the second match, he kind of did try to prove something. But I do agree. I don't know if he should have been there outright, but.
Yeah, but I mean more in the sense of like as Raspadori as like a supporting striker, like the super sub. I don't think he should be a starter.
Sure.
But Spalletti does have faith in him, has a lot of faith in him. So
yeah.
The Voi fare, type of thing. But but what's the point I wanted to make about roster selection? Yeah, there we go. I know I remember the back line. You brought up a good point about the defense. I think our defense is good. There needs to be tweaking, or these guys need to practice more, or just don't play these players that are like. I don't think Di Lorenzo should start in a 3-man back line. I don't think he's not used to playing on a 3-man back line. There's so much more responsibility that I don't think he's capable of doing it. And I love Di Lorenzo. I love Di Lorenzo. This is not me talking shit about Di Lorenzo. I'm just saying he's incapable.
Do you love Di Lorenzo?
I really love Di Lorenzo.
Capitano.
No, but it's a reference to Anchorman. Do you love the lamp, or you're just saying what you love when you see? But yeah, that's my personal take of it. Like, maybe find somebody else to play in that slot. Maybe Di Lorenzo's time. Like, probably use Di Lorenzo as a sub. Don't use him as a starter for that.
Yeah. But then the question becomes is like who you're gonna slot there. Like, but I mean, if all are healthy, it should be Bastoni, Calafiori, Buongiorno. I think are our best three currently.
I think I agree with that. I totally agree with that.
But it seems like I don't know. Spalletti's a bit stubborn in keeping Di Lorenzo where he's at. I know he switched it up. I don't think because he had a choice, because Calafiori's just fluke injury in the first Germany match, but which again we hope that he comes back stronger. But it's like another thing. Like, what's the drop off after those three are, is what a guy like Gatti who
but like Cambiaso's a right back.
Right, right or left. I think he can play both. Personally, I know obviously when the Marco's there, it's there.
Swiss Army knife when he's healthy, but apparently he hasn't been healthy at all in 2025.
Yeah,
he was valued at 60 million, and then Dipped.
They should have taken the money, maybe.
Yeah, Juve really should have sold them when they could. Jesus.
Like Man City was willing to spend 50, 60 million. Maybe they should have
That's
taken
true.
it. But
That's true.
if that's true, again, and also hindsight is 2020. So, we'll never know. But no, listen, I don't know. I think just maybe the drop off after those 3 center backs, because I don't mind seeing Buongiorno come off the bench if you want to still keep Di Lorenzo, where he is at that center back position, because Spalletti loves him. But I think the drop off afterwards is like a guy like Gatti, which I know, Nick, I think you have kind of mixed opinions about. I know I do, at least. And I saw other people saying maybe Mancini coming in at a center back. He hasn't been in the mix. Now, obviously, today I was seeing all kinds of a Cherby talk. So I don't know. I think the drop off is a little bit, too much, like too great right now. So it's kind of, we're in limbo. Like, do we put all our best players on the pitch, which I think we should, but at the same time that can burn us. So it's a catch-22, I think.